Meet the Morrison family, living in a beautiful, quiet, small town in Sitka, Alaska, where the birds chirp ever so peacefully, the wind is fresh and crisp, life is simple and just goes with the flow. For Mom, Dad, their eldest son Derek, and their youngest son Kyle. But definitely not for Steven. There was a time when Steven used to be the most loved and slightly spoiled youngest child. But everything changed after Kyle came into the picture, and Steven became the middle child. Now, in this house, all the rules were only made for him. It didn't apply to Derek because he was old enough, and it didn't apply to Kyle because he's still a child. Steven hated being the middle child because he always found himself being the invisible, sacrificing one. Let's just take everything he owned, for example. They were all hand-me-downs from Derek. Woohoo, a new t-shirt that Derek wore for a year. Geez, how thoughtful. While Derek always got new things because he was the first child. And by the time it came to Kyle, all the things were too worn out for him to use, so he got a new one too. But the hand-me-downs were the least of the issues in this house. Does anyone remember Steven's 16th birthday? Of course not. No one remembers the middle child. Steven too didn't know if his parents forgot his birthday or were planning a surprise party for him. Was this really happening? It was true. Steven got the biggest surprise when his parents whipped out the cake. On it written in bold, "Congratulations, Derek." Derek, but it's my birthday. Steven, your brother got selected on the football team. It's 2 celebrations in 1. It's still your cake.
Huh?
Oh man, Mom, Dad, you're the best. Loser. But at least, the year after that, fortunately, they got the name right on the cake. But the minute it came to actually cutting it, "Mom, I want to cut the cake." "No, it's my birthday, I get to cut the cake." "Mom!" "Steven, you're 17 now, not a kid. Let your little brother cut the cake." "What? He's 13. "Steven, just because your brother is cutting the cake doesn't mean you're not going to get any. It's still your cake." Can't we just focus on the middle child for once? Said no parent ever. This year, Steven was finally graduating high school and moving out for college. But as of now, all Steven had on his mind was how he was going to pull prom off. The night he planned to take it to the next level with his girlfriend, Elisa. But to make this night awesome, he had to get himself a car. "Mom, Dad, I was thinking, now that I'm going to college, why not get my first car now?" "What do you mean, get your first car? Derek never asked for his car." "Because you guys gave him Dad's old car." "Because he's responsible, unlike you." "Didn't he get 2 tickets last month?" "That wasn't his fault. Who knew there would be a red light in the middle of the highway? But that's not the point. If you want a car, you have to save up your own money for it." "Save from what? You don't even give me allowance." "Maybe it's time you get a job." "But Derek doesn't have a job." "Derek is already under so much pressure with his studies, and you want him to get a job and ruin his career? What about my career and my education?" "Your career? You don't even want to get a job." Of course, the eldest and the youngest just needed to be cute, but he needed to work. So Steven worked one odd job after the other to save money. It was one day he was doing his shift at the local theater when he saw some familiar-looking people walk in. "Welcome to the BII Theater, Mom." "3 tickets to Wayne the Huntsman movie, please." "Mom, isn't he going to give us a family discount? Doesn't he love us?" "No, Kyle. Now that he has his own money, he doesn't need us anymore." "Steven, give your brother free popcorn." "But Mom, they'll cut it from my salary." "I don't want to hear it, mister." After a lot of hard work leading to the month of prom, Steven was able to save up $800. But unfortunately, every car he checked out was either double his budget or even more than that. Now what? He was dragging himself home quite upset when suddenly one of his teachers stopped him. The physics teacher. "Mr. Cooper? Steven, I heard you were looking for a car." "Yeah, but the prices are too high. I hardly saved up $800. Not gonna happen." "Come over to my house this evening." Mr. Cooper patted his back and left. Why was he calling him over? Around 6, Steven made it to his place. "Steven, you came. Come on, I have something to show you." Mr. Cooper escorted Steven to his garage, where he showed him a car. "I don't use this car anymore after a small accident," Mr. Cooper said, showing Steven one of the broken headlights. "I bought this when I was young, but now it doesn't suit a teacher. I've been trying to get rid of it, but I thought it would suit you. It's an old model, but it should be running fine. The repair will probably cost you $200. And how much do I have to give to you?" Mr. Cooper chuckled. "How about $500? "Really? You're the best." Seeing the car, Steven was stoked. It was awesome. The damage was minimum, and now he would have an extra $100 on hand. The following day, Steven had it repaired at the garage and planned to paint it by himself at home. How did he get this car for only $500? There's only one explanation though, bro. The Lord only loves the middle child. Steven spent the entire day painting and glossing and cleaning his new car. "Dinner is getting cold. Where's your brother?" "Don't you know tonight's the first night? He's gonna spend it in the car." "Yeah, he's gonna eat and sleep in it too." After the last few touches, Steven sat inside and fiddled with the radio. When he tuned it to a channel. "Wow, I can play music too?" He leaned back and relaxed, feeling happy and content until he fell asleep. It was sometime in the middle of the night that he heard the first drops of rain splatter onto the car. And soon after, he heard the sound of a bicycle bell, as if right in front of him. Steven opened his eyes and looked around. Where was that sound coming from? That's when, all of a sudden, the headlights turned on all by itself, and he was startled seeing something in the rearview mirror. But when he turned around, there was nothing there. Perhaps it had been a long day. He needed rest. The night of prom, Steven picked up Elisa from her house. Luckily, Derek let him borrow his tuxedo. Steven and Elisa were having a great time hanging out with friends and dancing together. "Steven, are we gonna spend all night here? Let's go for a ride." Steven and Elisa slipped out of the gymnasium and drove to the mountainside, where Steven parked right by the cliffside, looking out at the lake below. The view was great, and within a while a low drizzle began to fall. "I like your car. The color is awesome." "Thanks. I painted it myself." As Elisa laughed and talked about this and that, Steven looked at her. She was truly looking beautiful tonight. The rain soon started to pour heavily, and the lightning struck the skies. But just as Elisa turned to him, and they were about to get intimate, Steven began to feel strange. As he looked at Elisa, he suddenly fell pale and fainted. "Steven? Steven!" Elisa anxiously shook Steven. How was she going to get him home, or herself home? He scrambled through her bags and took out a bottle of water and sprinkled it on him. It wasn't until almost half an hour later that Steven regained his consciousness. "Steven, what happened to you?" But without saying a word, Steven suddenly stepped on the accelerator. He swerved the car around the cliff and began driving down the mountainside. "Steven, where are we going?" But Steven didn't answer her. "Steven, you're scaring me." Within a while, he screeched to a stop by the lakeside below. Elisa just watched as Steven walked to the bank covered in a thick layer of fog and stood there. Steven, is everything okay? Where are we? Elisa had never seen Steven so serious before. It's nothing. Let's go. I'll drop you home. You're going to drop me home? This is going to be our memories for prom? I'm sorry. I'll make it up to you. After dropping her off, Steven returned home around 10 that night and went straight to bed. Over the next few days, everyone in the house had noticed Steven was a little different. He wasn't talking much, he went to school and came back and locked himself in his room again. So his brothers tried to cheer him up. Bro, I got these 2 tickets to the movies, but I'm not going to go. How about you and Elisa go this evening? That's okay, I want to stay home. Hey bro, I got this new game. Want to try it out? I'll even give you a head start. Not now, Kyle. What happened to Steven? He's been a little quiet lately. I know, he's been behaving a little strange since that prom night. It was late in the evening that Steven's father went to his room and sat down beside him. What's up? Nothing. Do you have a second to talk to your old man? What happened? Things didn't go as planned? No, Dad, it's nothing like that. Alright, if you say so. Come down for dinner, okay? After dinner, while Mrs. Morrison was cleaning up the kitchen and Mr. Morrison was watching the news, they suddenly saw Steven walk down. But instead of stopping by them, he went straight out the door. Steven, where are you going? It's raining! Without listening to either of his parents, Steven got into his car and drove out the driveway. In the rain, he drove all the way to Mr. Cooper's house and knocked on the door. Steven, you're here? In this rain? Come inside. What happened? Is everything all right? I'm here to return your car. Return? Are you having trouble with it? It's not working properly? After a moment of silence, Steven said, Did you know she was pregnant? Who was pregnant? Elisa's pregnant? No, Jocelyn. As soon as Mr. Cooper heard her name, he fell in shock. Jocelyn? Robert Cooper was a young man when he joined the BII High School in Alaska. He was quite popular among the students, and especially the female students. It was the year of 1976, and his senior students were finishing up his last semester. Jocelyn, you didn't hand in your assignment. You know you're going to fail this class if you don't submit it. I know, Mr. Cooper, I just need some more time. Alright, I'll give you 2 days. If you can submit it within then, I'll pass you. Robert had offered one of his students, Jocelyn, a second chance. And it was 2 days later that he got a visit from her at his house. It was a rainy evening. Robert was surprised to see Jocelyn had rode her bicycle all the way here and was all wet. You came here on your bicycle in the rain? Yeah, to hand in my assignment. I hope I'm not too late. Come in. Robert invited Jocelyn inside and offered her some towels while he looked over her papers. It's quite chilly out today. Would you like to have some coffee? Sure. You have a nice house. Do you live alone? Yes, I do. Robert and Jocelyn ended up conversing, but even after an hour, the rain had yet to stop. Why don't you stay a bit longer, and if the rain doesn't stop, I'll drop you off in my car. It was that evening, while they waited for the rain to stop and got talking, one thing led to another, and they ended up being together. It was from that one evening, Jocelyn started visiting him more often, and before long, they were in a relationship. But as the days went on like this, it was one night that Jocelyn came to Robert's house a bit upset. What's wrong, Jocelyn? I need to know something. Our relationship, where is it leading to? Look, Jocelyn, we like each other and we enjoy each other's company. Isn't that enough for now? No, it's not enough. I don't want to keep this a secret anymore. I want to give this relationship a name. We can't do that. I'm a teacher and you're still very young. I'll get fired or even arrested. We can't keep on doing this in secret. Someone's bound to find out. Then let's end this right now. You remember the first time I came, it was raining, and tonight it's raining, and you're leaving me tonight. You don't understand, I'll get into big trouble. You're embarrassed to admit you're with me, and if that's what you fear, I'll embarrass you in front of everyone. Jocelyn, wait! Jocelyn! In a rage, Jocelyn left the house that night, leaving Robert in anxiety. What is she going to do? What am I going to do? It was that dark night that Robert took out his car and drove after Jocelyn. Seeing her riding her bicycle just a few feet away from him, he ran her over. Jocelyn passed away that night. Robert had taken her to the lakeside, where he buried her. But what he didn't know was that she had only confronted him because she was pregnant. From that day, he never used that car again until he found out about Steven and thought of ridding it from his life forever. How did you know all this? I know where you kept her body, and I'm going to the police. No, Steven, please, don't do this. Haven't I punished myself enough? Since then, I've never been with anyone. I've lived a lonely, miserable life. You disgust me. Steven turned around and went out the door. Ever since he had bought this car, he had sensed something wasn't right. The first night it rained, he heard the sound of a bicycle bell ringing in the back of his ear. He saw someone in the mirror. It was Jocelyn, her body. The night of prom, when he had gone with Elisa to the cliffside, he saw Jocelyn appear to him again and fell unconscious. She was the one who had guided him to her grave, seeking justice. Justice that Steven would get her. Breaking news! Anonymous informer led the BIIPD into discovering the remains of a young woman who had gone missing 15 years ago after a bicycle accident, and also the man who had taken her life, a physics teacher from the BII high school. However, when the police set out in search for the perpetrator, they found the teacher had taken his own life, driving himself off the cliffside in his car. Parents of the young woman are now grateful to have closure. Justice had finally been served, even if not by the hands of the law. Didn't you buy that car from him? Yes, but I gave it back to him. Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting.